Welcome back to Capitol View. I'm Roby Brock.
And I'm David Goins. We're joined this Sunday morning by 2nd Congressional Congressman Tim Griffin. Mr. Griffin, you're the first person to appear twice on Capitol View in our infancy, so we appreciate you joining us this Sunday morning once again. First question off the bat. On Tuesday, the Obama administration basically decided to put off one of the key provisions of the Affordable Care Act, which is the penalties that would be assessed to businesses from January 1 of 2014 to essentially January 1 of 2015. Kind of your thoughts about that decision?
Well, I think it's a recognition that there are problems with this law, and I think also this is a political move. They wanted to take the implementation of the employer mandate and the penalties that go with it. They wanted to take that and kick it past the 2014 election. It's pretty clear that's what they're doing. I think for me, it's another indication that this is a flawed law. What about the individual mandate? He didn't say anything about that. And what's unfair there is individuals have been speaking out on this. They don't have the money to lobby and go to D.C. and take a team of people to influence the administration. I think they ought to just postpone all of these mandates, and let's talk about a better way to get to the same result with a new law.
But postponing all those mandates means slowing down the development of the exchanges, which is going to give people more options for health insurance coverage. There are still pieces and moving parts to the federal health care law that are going to go forward and move on. I talked to Insurance Commissioner Jay Bradford on Tuesday. He said he was relieved that the employer mandate had been pushed off because he didn't think that employers were going to be ready to deal with the regulation and the paperwork. So why not I guess why not view this as a positive thing?
Well, it is positive. I just wish the whole thing was postponed. Not because we don't have a problem. We do have a problem. We need health care reform. But as many of us have said, a top-down approach that dictates all of the rules from Washington is not the way to do it. And I think that ultimately, I hear what the insurance commissioner said. He said they're not ready. They're not going to be ready. They're not going to be ready. Businesses aren't going to be ready for this in 2015.
Why wouldn't they be? I mean, because half of it was the exchanges. The other half was this penalty. Well, and it sounds like they've broken the pie into two pieces. Let's let the exchanges get rolling for a year, and then maybe by 2015, okay, employers are ready.
Well,
why wouldn't that work?
Well, you can ask them, because they're the ones that tell me this is a nightmare law, and their premiums are going up. What they've got to pay is going up, and there are other companies that are right on the edge of the 50 employee threshold that right now, under the law, won't have to provide health care. There's one here in particular. There's a young Hispanic man. He has several franchises, and I won't tell what the franchises are, but they're growing like gangbusters. And he's right at the 45 employee point. He flew to Washington. He met with me here. He met with me in Washington. He told me that he is slowing his growth, stopping his growth, so that he does not hit the 50 employee threshold, so that he doesn't have to take on all those burdens. In fact, he came to me and said, will you help me push for a bill that would move it from 50 and up, 50 employees and up, those employers have to provide health care, to 250 and up. So we're looking at these options. My point is, if you talk to the people affected, yeah, it's welcome that they're going to delay it. Absolutely. But the problem's not going to be solved by the delay. That's my point.
Do you think that the Obama administration should have done something different? There's been some argument out there that the law says that they shall meet certain mandates of the law, and some people are arguing that that means that they can't do this by this regulatory postponement. Should they have done it a different route?
Well, we've got to look into that. Let me be real clear. Anytime we're postponing the implementation of some of these burdens, that's generally a good thing. But again, the individual mandate's not affected. We do have to look how they did it, because the idea that Congress passes a law requiring something and the president can just willy-nilly say, I know the law said it's due on this day, but I'm going to push it off. That, unless there's something I'm missing, there's a real legal problem there, meaning that's not the way it
Should
works.
they have come back to Congress and asked for a postponement?
Look,
Would you have supported that?
I think they should have come to Congress and said, this law's got major problems. We need to fix it. Will you work with us? And I think there'd be a lot of people willing to, with a lot of ideas on how to change this law. You know, we've wanted to repeal it, but in the absence of that, we have passed some changes, like the 1099 repeal. A lot of us want to repeal the medical device tax, which is passed down to consumers. So we need to look at the authority that I'd like to see the memo from the legal counsel on why they decided to do this. And but it's interesting, the idea that the president can just sort of
you don't think
change the law.
An offhand decision. I mean, you assume, or can you assume this is something they were probably looking at for a while? And
well, no, I'm sure they were, but that didn't make it legal. They also changed the work requirements under welfare reform that President Clinton signed, where they could be waived for the states. I also don't think that's legal, and as a result, Ways and Means Committee, we passed a bill to make it abundantly clear that, hey, it wasn't legal before, but we want to just let you know it's not legal. So just because someone does something and says they have a good legal opinion, look, I'm a lawyer. You can get a lawyer to argue any side.
Sure.
Doesn't make it right.
Sure. Just trying to clarify whether it was a last-minute decision or not.
Oh, no. I think this has been in the works for a while. Make no mistake about it.
Before we go to break, let's transition kind of quickly to immigration. Obviously, the Senate passed their bill a little more than a week ago. It's kind of now in the House hands.